Welcome to Pediatric Case Review. Today's lecture covers childhood obesity, a growing global health concern. We will explore clinical presentation, diagnostic criteria, examination findings, complications, and evidence-based management strategies. This lecture is designed for healthcare professionals seeking intermediate-level knowledge to improve patient care and outcomes. A 10-year-old boy presents with weight 55 kilograms and height 140 centimeters. Physical examination is otherwise unremarkable. Based on Centers for Disease Control growth charts, what is this child's body mass index percentile classification? Option A, healthy weight, 5th to 84th percentile. Option B, overweight, 85th to 94th percentile. Option C, obesity, 95th to 98th percentile. Option D, severe obesity, greater than or equal to 99th percentile. The correct answer is D, severe obesity. The body mass index is calculated as 55 divided by 1.4 squared, equaling 28.1 kilograms per meter squared. For a 10-year-old boy, this exceeds the 99th percentile. Remember, overweight ranges from 85th to 94th percentile, obesity from 95th to 98th percentile, and severe obesity is at or above the 99th percentile. Which statement about childhood obesity epidemiology is most accurate? Option A, prevalence has decreased in developed countries since 2010. Option B, it affects primarily high-income families. Option C, it affects approximately 20% of children in the United States. Option D, it is more common in rural than urban areas. The correct answer is C. Approximately 20% of children in the United States are affected by obesity. The prevalence continues to rise globally, not decrease. Obesity disproportionately affects low-income and minority populations, not high-income families. Both urban and rural areas show significant prevalence, though distribution varies by geographic region and socioeconomic factors. What is the fundamental pathophysiologic mechanism of childhood obesity? Option A, genetic mutations causing metabolic disorders. Option B, chronic positive energy balance exceeding expenditure. Option C, thyroid hormone deficiency. Option D, cortisol excess from stress. The correct answer is B. The fundamental mechanism is chronic positive energy balance, where caloric intake exceeds energy expenditure over time. Excess energy is stored as adipose tissue. While genetic, hormonal, and psychological factors contribute, endocrine causes like thyroid deficiency or cortisol excess account for less than 5% of childhood obesity cases. Parents of a 5-year-old child inquire about obesity risk. Both parents have body mass index over 30. The child currently has normal weight. What is this child's approximate risk of developing obesity? Option A, 10 to 20%. Option B, 25 to 35%. Option C, 50 to 70%. Option D, 80 to 90%. The correct answer is C, 50 to 70% risk. When both parents are obese, children have 50 to 80% probability of developing obesity. With one obese parent, risk is 40 to 50%. Without obese parents, risk is approximately 10%. This reflects both genetic predisposition and shared environmental factors, including dietary patterns and physical activity habits. Which environmental factor has the strongest association with childhood obesity? Option A, number of siblings in the household. Option B, hours of screen time daily. Option C, distance from the nearest park. Option D, parental education level. The correct answer is B, hours of screen time daily. More than 2 hours of screen time significantly increases obesity risk. Screen time reduces physical activity, promotes sedentary behavior, increases snacking opportunities, and exposes children to food advertising. This is a highly modifiable risk factor through family-based interventions, making it an important target for prevention strategies. A 12-year-old girl with body mass index at 97th percentile presents with difficulty keeping up with peers and breathlessness during activities. Which additional symptom is most commonly reported in pediatric obesity? Option A, morning headaches. Option B, joint pain, especially in the knees. Option C, abdominal pain after meals. Option D, chest pain with exercise. The correct answer is B, joint pain especially in the knees. Excess weight places significant stress on growing joints, with knees, hips, and ankles most commonly affected. This musculoskeletal pain can further limit physical activity, creating a negative cycle. Joint pain may also indicate developing orthopedic complications such as slipped capital femoral epiphysis or blunt disease. A 14-year-old male with body mass index at 99th percentile shows declining school performance and social withdrawal. Which psychological condition has the highest prevalence in obese adolescents? Option A, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Option B, anxiety disorder. Option C, depression. Option D, eating disorders. The correct answer is C, depression. Depression affects 20 to 30% of obese adolescents, showing a bidirectional relationship with obesity. Social stigma, bullying, and poor self-esteem contribute significantly. Depression can worsen obesity through reduced activity and emotional eating. All obese adolescents should be screened for depression and other mental health conditions as part of comprehensive care. A 9-year-old child with obesity presents with snoring reported by parents, along with daytime sleepiness and poor school concentration. What is the most likely diagnosis? Option A, asthma exacerbation. Option B, obstructive sleep apnea. Option C, exercise-induced bronchospasm. Option D, allergic rhinitis. The correct answer is B, obstructive sleep apnea. This affects 25 to 40% of obese children. Classic symptoms include snoring, witnessed breathing pauses, daytime sleepiness, and poor concentration. Sleep apnea can cause significant cognitive impairment and behavioral problems. Diagnosis requires polysomnography. Treatment may include weight loss, continuous positive airway pressure, or adenotonsillectomy in selected cases. An 11-year-old child with obesity shows dark velvety patches on the neck, also present in the axillae and groin. What is this finding called? Option A, acanthosis nigricans. Option B, intertrigo. Option C, tinea versicolor. Option D, seborrheic dermatitis. The correct answer is A, acanthosis nigricans. This represents a marker of insulin resistance, appearing as velvety hyperpigmented patches in skin folds including neck, axillae, and groin. Found in 50 to 90% of obese children, its presence indicates significant insulin resistance and necessitates metabolic screening for prediabetes or type 2 diabetes mellitus. A 13-year-old male with body mass index at 96 percentile has blood pressure 135 over 85 millimeters of mercury, confirmed on 3 separate visits. His height is at the 50th percentile. How is this blood pressure classified? Option A, normal. Option B, elevated blood pressure. Option C, stage 1 hypertension. Option D, stage 2 hypertension. The correct answer is C, stage 1 hypertension. For this age and height, this blood pressure exceeds the 95th percentile, but remains below 95th percentile, plus 12 millimeters of mercury. Obesity increases hypertension risk threefold. Confirmed hypertension requires investigation for target organ damage and secondary causes, along with lifestyle interventions and possible pharmacotherapy. A 10-year-old with severe obesity has a liver palpable 3 centimeters below the costal margin on examination. The liver is non-tender with a smooth edge. What is the most likely associated condition? Option A, viral hepatitis. Option B, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Option C, glycogen storage disease. Option D, biliary obstruction. The correct answer is B, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. This affects 30 to 40% of obese children and is often asymptomatic, discovered during physical examination or through elevated transaminases. Hepatomegaly indicates significant fat accumulation. Without intervention, this can progress to steatohepatitis, fibrosis, and eventually cirrhosis. Ultrasound and liver function tests help confirm diagnosis. A 12-year-old obese male presents with limping and hip pain that worsens with activity. Which examination finding suggests slipped capital femoral epiphysis? Option A, limited hip abduction and internal rotation. Option B, positive anterior drawer test. Option C, leg length discrepancy. Option D, knee effusion. The correct answer is A, limited hip abduction and internal rotation. Slipped capital femoral epiphysis occurs more commonly in obese adolescents due to mechanical stress on the proximal femoral growth plate. Classic examination shows limited hip abduction and internal rotation, with external rotation during hip flexion. This condition requires urgent orthopedic referral and typically needs surgical fixation to prevent further slippage. An obese adolescent is undergoing comprehensive evaluation. Which finding would suggest a thyroid disorder as the cause of obesity? Option A, goiter with normal growth velocity. Option B, tall stature with advanced bone age. Option C, short stature with delayed bone age. Option D, acanthosis nigricans present. The correct answer is C, short stature with delayed bone age. Most obese children have tall stature and advanced bone age due to nutritional excess. Hypothyroidism causes short stature, delayed bone age, and slow growth velocity alongside weight gain. While endocrine causes account for less than 5% of childhood obesity, suspect them when growth patterns are atypical. An 8-year-old obese female shows breast development without pubic hair. What does this finding most likely represent? Option A, normal puberty for this age. Option B, early puberty related to obesity. Option C, precocious puberty requiring full workup. Option D, pseudo-precocious puberty. The correct answer is B, early puberty related to obesity. Obesity, particularly in females, can advance pubertal timing through leptin signaling from adipose tissue to the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis. Breast development before age 8 requires evaluation to distinguish obesity-related early puberty from central precocious puberty. Monitor progression carefully and consider bone age assessment. A 15-year-old with severe obesity and family history of early heart disease has dyslipidemia. Which lipid abnormality is most common in obese children? Option A, isolated elevated low-density lipoprotein cholesterol. Option B, low high-density lipoprotein with elevated triglycerides. Option C, isolated elevated triglycerides only. Option D, normal lipid profile. The correct answer is B, low high-density lipoprotein with elevated triglycerides. This represents the classic dyslipidemia pattern associated with insulin resistance, found in 40 to 50% of obese children. This combination significantly increases future cardiovascular disease risk. Total cholesterol may be normal or mildly elevated. Weight loss and lifestyle modifications improve lipid profiles substantially. A 13-year-old with body mass index at 99th percentile and acanthosis nigricans has fasting glucose of 110 mg per deciliter. What does this glucose level indicate? Option A, normal glucose metabolism. Option B, impaired fasting glucose or prediabetes. Option C, diabetes mellitus. Option D, hypoglycemia. The correct answer is B, impaired fasting glucose indicating prediabetes. Prediabetes is defined as fasting glucose between 100 and 125 mg per deciliter, hemoglobin A1C between 5.7 and 6.4%, or 2-hour glucose between 140 and 199 mg per deciliter. This indicates high risk for diabetes progression and requires intensive lifestyle intervention. A 14-year-old obese female presents with polyuria and polydipsia. Random glucose is 230 mg per deciliter without ketones. What is the next appropriate step? Option A, repeat glucose after an 8-hour fast. Option B, start insulin immediately. Option C, order hemoglobin A1C and confirm diagnosis. Option D, reassure and recheck in 3 months. The correct answer is C, order hemoglobin A1C and confirm diagnosis. Random glucose over 200 mg per deciliter with classic symptoms strongly suggests type 2 diabetes. Confirmation requires hemoglobin A1C at or above 6.5% or fasting glucose at or above 126 mg per deciliter. Treatment intensity depends on metabolic decompensation severity. A 16-year-old obese female presents with irregular menses, hirsutism, and acne. What is the most appropriate initial test? Option A, pelvic ultrasound. Option B, testosterone and dehydroepiandrosterone sulfate levels. Option C, pregnancy test. Option D, thyroid function tests. The correct answer is C, pregnancy test. Always exclude pregnancy first when evaluating irregular menses in adolescents. Subsequently, check testosterone, dehydroepiandrosterone sulfate, and other hormones. Polycystic ovary syndrome affects 25 to 30% of obese adolescent females and strongly associates with insulin resistance. Weight loss significantly improves symptoms and metabolic parameters. For a 10-year-old child with body mass index at the 95th percentile, which screening is recommended? Option A, lipid panel only. Option B, fasting glucose only. Option C, lipid panel and fasting glucose. Option D, no screening needed until age 12. The correct answer is C, both lipid panel and fasting glucose. Screen all children with body mass index at or above 95th percentile, starting at age 10 or puberty onset. Also check alanine aminotransferase for liver disease. If results are normal, repeat screening every 2 years. Earlier or more frequent screening may be indicated with additional risk factors. A 12-year-old obese child with family history of diabetes has hemoglobin A1C result of 6.0%. What does this result indicate? Option A, normal glucose metabolism. Option B, prediabetes. Option C, diabetes mellitus. Option D, laboratory error requiring repeat testing. The correct answer is B, prediabetes. Hemoglobin A1C between 5.7 and 6.4% indicates prediabetes. Values at or above 6.5% indicate diabetes. Hemoglobin A1C reflects average glucose levels over approximately 3 months. This result requires intensive lifestyle intervention, including dietary modification, increased physical activity, and close monitoring for diabetes progression. An 11-year-old with obesity undergoes routine screening. Alanine aminotransferase is 65 units per liter, normal less than 40. Aspartate aminotransferase is 48 units per liter, normal less than 35. What is the most appropriate next step? Option A, immediate liver biopsy. Option B, ultrasound abdomen and repeat tests in 3 months. Option C, start ursodeoxycholic acid. Option D, no further action needed. The correct answer is B, ultrasound abdomen and repeat tests in 3 months. Mild transaminase elevation is common in obese children with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Ultrasound evaluates hepatic steatosis degree. Exclude other causes including viral hepatitis and autoimmune hepatitis. Weight loss through lifestyle modification is primary treatment and typically improves transaminase levels significantly. Which symptom most strongly indicates the need for a sleep study in an obese child? Option A, occasional snoring without other symptoms. Option B, witnessed breathing pauses during sleep. Option C, difficulty falling asleep. Option D, restless leg movements. The correct answer is B, witnessed breathing pauses during sleep. Apneic episodes indicate significant upper airway obstruction. Also consider polysomnography for loud habitual snoring, excessive daytime sleepiness, morning headaches, or poor school concentration. Sleep studies quantify apnea-hypopnea index severity and oxygen desaturation, guiding treatment decisions including continuous positive airway pressure or surgical intervention. What is the most effective dietary approach for childhood obesity? Option A, very low-calorie diet of 800 kilocalories per day. Option B, elimination of all carbohydrates. Option C, balanced calorie reduction with family involvement. Option D, meal replacement shakes only. The correct answer is C, balanced calorie reduction with family involvement. Family-based interventions show highest success rates. Reduce daily calories by 250 to 500 kilocalories through healthy food choices and appropriate portions. Emphasize fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins while limiting sugar-sweetened beverages and processed foods. Avoid extreme restrictive diets in growing children. What is the recommended daily physical activity duration for obese children? Option A, 15 to 20 minutes of moderate activity. Option B, 30 minutes of moderate activity. Option C, 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous activity. Option D, 90 minutes of vigorous activity. The correct answer is C, 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity daily. This recommendation applies to all children, including those with obesity. Activities should include aerobic exercises, muscle strengthening, and bone strengthening. Start gradually if currently inactive to prevent injury. Simultaneously reduce recreational screen time to under 2 hours daily to maximize activity opportunities. Which behavioral strategy shows the best evidence for weight management in children? Option A, individual child counseling only. Option B, parent training without child involvement. Option C, family-based behavioral treatment. Option D, peer support groups exclusively.